LBJs, or little brown jobs, are those streaky, nondescript birds, including sparrows, that can leave even experienced birders guessing. Sparrows are tricky because their complex head feather patterns don't fit neatly into the field marks method that works to identify most other birds. The Savannah sparrow is no exception. Its variable appearance and subtle differences make it a real challenge to pin down. Welcome. My name is Greg, and I've been watching birds for over 50 years. In this video, I'll give you practical tips for identifying Savannah sparrows, so you can feel confident picking them out even among other little brown jobs. Don't give up on sparrows. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to get this one right. Look at the yellow eyebrow stripe, especially the bright yellow right at the front of the eye, to see a quick and easy way to identify a Savannah sparrow. This ID tip is key for separating Savannah sparrows from other streak-breasted sparrows. But the yellow eyebrow stripe can be faint or even missing in some birds, such as this Savannah sparrow, which I recently photographed. That's why it's necessary to combine this detail with shape and behavior. So next, we'll quickly eliminate some look-alike species that might cause confusion. Then we'll look at more ID tips to separate Savannah sparrow from song sparrow, the species it's most often confused with. After that, we'll listen to the songs and calls of Savannah sparrow. Finally, we'll look at distribution and habitat and even some regional specialties. The first similar species is Vesper sparrow. Vesper is a larger, longer-bodied sparrow with a medium-length, square-tipped tail. It is noticeably bulkier than the compact, short-tailed shape of Savannah sparrow. Both species share grassland habitats and can be found together, though Vesper prefers drier, more open fields. For ID, look for the gray eyebrow on Vesper, which doesn't stand out as much as the bright whitish or yellow eyebrow of Savannah. Vesper also has a bold white eye ring, unlike the more subtle face pattern of Savannah sparrow. Grasshopper sparrow is another look-alike, but it's part of a genus of chunky, short-tailed birds with flat foreheads, large heads, and big bills. Grasshopper sparrows tend to be more secretive, sticking to fields and wet meadows, and rarely perching in the open except when singing. You'll notice their unstreaked buffy breast and orange face patch. Unlike Savannah, they're never found in flocks and are usually silent when flushed. Lincoln sparrow can also cause confusion, especially during migration. Lincoln's has a longer tail and bigger head than Savannah. It has fine dark streaks on a buffy breast, a buffy submustachial stripe, and a broad gray eyebrow with no yellow at all. You'll often find Lincolns in brushy or marshy areas, sometimes alongside Savannah, but they tend to stick to denser cover and brush rather than open grasslands. What if you're looking at a Savannah sparrow that doesn't really show much yellow in the eyebrow? Then the face pattern strongly matches song sparrow. In that case, it's time to focus on other clues like shape, behavior, and habitat to tell it apart. We'll start by comparing it to the song sparrow, which is often mistaken for Savannah sparrow in the field. Savannah sparrow is a small, slim sparrow with a short, notched, or slightly forked tail, not chunky, and not big-headed. You'll usually find Savannahs out in the open, right in the middle of grassy fields or marshes, often in small flocks. When flushed, they give a thin, lisping call and fly low and away over the grass. Song sparrow, on the other hand, is a robust, medium-large sparrow with a long, rounded tail and a bigger head and bill. They prefer brushy tangles or the edges of fields and pastures. They dive for cover when flushed. You can pish to attract song sparrows back into viewing. Pishing is making squeaking and kissing sounds that attract some birds. It doesn't work on Savannah sparrows, but song sparrows immediately pop up on a nearby bush to investigate. As a final check, song sparrows show a bold, messy central breast spot with their underpart streaking. The streaking on the breast of Savannah sparrows usually doesn't merge into a large spot. The Savannah sparrow's song is high, thin, and insect-like, with a buzzy, almost metallic quality that stands out in open fields. A typical song starts with a few short notes, then shifts into a long, buzzy trill. Many birders remember it with the phrase, tsit tsit tee tse. Males sing from exposed perches during the breeding season, filling grass lines with this distinctive sound. The call is a thin, lisping tsip, often heard when the bird is flushed from cover. Savannah sparrows breed across much of North America, from Alaska and Canada south through the northern United States. In winter, they move south to the southern U.S., Mexico, and parts of Central America. Look for them in grassy habitats, open fields, pastures, salt marshes, and even roadside edges. In California, keep an eye out for some unique local Savannah sparrows. Belding's Savannah Sparrow is a year-round resident of coastal central and southern California, strictly tied to dense pickleweed and other salt marsh plants. This subspecies stands out with its very dark, heavily streaked plumage and smaller bill, and is most common in marshes from Santa Barbara south through San Diego and into northwestern Baja California. Farther south and along the coast, you might spot the large-billed Savannah Sparrow, a bigger, very pale bird with a noticeably larger bill and broad, blurry streaks across the breast. This subspecies prefers open beaches, jetties, and salt marsh edges, sometimes mixing with Beldings, but just barely reaches the San Diego region in winter. Each of the 17 recognized subspecies brings its own twist to the classic Savannah Sparrow look. So don't be surprised by local variation. Do you remember the ID marks of the Savannah Sparrow? Small and compact with a short tail that is slightly forked. Yellow eyebrow, especially in the front of the eye. Heavily streaked breast, usually without a central spot. And found in extensive fields and grasslands. Keep these tips in mind and you'll be identifying Savannah sparrows with confidence wherever you go. Have you seen my video comparing song sparrow and Lincoln sparrow? I'd love for you to check it out. I think you'll like it.